Hi, my name is Angel and my topic is GMOs. GMO stands for genetically modified organism. It's basically an organism altered through genetic engineering so that the DNA contains a gene that's not usually found there. My major claim is that GMOs are unhealthy and unsafe. My 2 points is GMOs cause health issues, and the second is that they affect animals as well as humans. So according to Jeffrey Smith, an American consumer activist and a former politician, he mentioned, he did research and found that kids have a higher risk to health effects such as fast developing bodies, they're more susceptible to allergies, they'll become lactose intolerant by consuming GMOs, and they'll be antibiotic resistant. Antibiotic resistant just means that it'll be hard if a kid gets like sick and they have like a bacteria or something, it'll be hard to cure them because they'll be antibiotic resistant. They also found that a female that is pregnant, well, when she eats genetically modified foods, the chemicals will run in her body as well as her milk, and the baby will ingest all these chemicals. So not only will the kids have health effects at a young age, but like as early as the womb, they'll have all these issues. And GMOs disrupt the digestive system as well. In 2004, a study published in a journal called The Nature in Biotechnology found that GMO genetic material transfers into DNA of living bacteria in the gut, and it reproduces in large amounts and very fast, and it just hurts our digestive system. GMOs affect animals. GMOs are responsible for killing bees, bats, butterflies, and other pollinators. Their bodies can't handle altered DNA and chemicals in GMOs. You might ask why these animals and insects are important if they're so little and people think they're like meaningless, but Joe Lample, one of the country's most recognized and trusted personalities in gardening and sustainability, found that 1,300 types of plants grown around the world to produce certain foods, spices, beverages, medicine, and even fabric, 75% are pollinated by these animals. So it will be like a chain effect. The GMOs will kill these animals, and then these animals won't be able to pollinate these certain plants. And then without these plants, we won't be able to produce these certain foods and spices and medicine. There was a study that was conducted by a group of scientists led by a biochemist, and her name is Dr. Judy Carmen. This study kind of connects how GMOs affect animals and humans. It was an experiment done by these scientists, and what they did was basically use pigs, because pigs have a very similar digestive system to people's, so like ours, to humans, and they separated pigs into groups. One group, they fed them GMO, it's like genetically modified GMO food, and the other group, they fed them organic corn and everything like healthy. The group of pigs that was fed all this genetically modified food suffered of digestive disorders, and the female pigs suffered severely of reproductive disorders. So when they were put to reproduce, they had a very hard time, and they were found with fluid instead of meat, and the female pigs were found to have endometriosis, stomach ulcers, and thinning of intestinal walls. So if all this happens to pigs now, you can only imagine what could happen to our digestive systems, since they are similar. So having everything I said, I hope that you agree that GMOs are unhealthy and they affect humans and animals.
Yeah, well, you identify your proposition, but the phrasing of it has multiple claims in it, and that's basically just the preview of the speech and the secondary issues instead of having a single proposition that covers those points. So you end up having a preview, but your preview is actually the proposition. You identify the first point when you get to it. I think that you start making some arguments about the digestive tract that need to be supported. The last evidence that you cited on the study about the pigs should have been presented with that particular point. I'm not exactly sure why you don't think it applies there just because it was research on animals. It's not so much that your argument there on that last piece of evidence is that this is a negative effect on animals. You're making an argument about the digestive tract, and that's a place where I think you needed a lot more information to support your position. The first person that you quote, I'm not exactly sure that they come across as an authoritative source on the subject. A researcher and politician. I don't know what that means, and I don't know what their qualifications are to be talking about some of these issues. That seems to be a little bit more problematic. The later sources that you cite, I think you qualify a little bit more. I do think you have a tendency to paraphrase information that's coming from these sources rather than quoting directly, and I think that that is a little bit of a problem also, because I think you're adding inferences into the argument. If you give us the direct quote and they've got that argument in there, then that is that person's claim, that is their opinion, and then their credibility is going to enhance your argument on that particular point. I think the transitions between points need to be a little bit stronger. On your second point, you have good information about the need for animals to do pollination or pollination. Pollination, is that the right way to say it? Pollination. There's no Z in it, is there? Pollination. That's the way you say it, right? Yeah. It's too late. I'm not thinking clearly. Pollination. Yeah, it still doesn't sound right to me. Anyway, I think you've got a good piece of information on that part of the argument. What's missing is any information that says GMOs are killing the bees, the bats, and all these other critters. I don't have any data that says that this is the case. I don't have any information on declines in the animals there, any explanation about how GMOs affect them. So I think that bats and bees and other critters do all this pollination, whatever it is. That might be true, but are they disappearing because of GMOs? That's the argument that you're making, and I think there's data missing there. All right, thank you.